live on YouTube, and now looks like we are live on Facebook. Just waiting for people to jump in. Who's going to be the first to join in today? Let's take a look. Also got the Sunday night game on the other computer for myself. You guys should see what I've got going on. I've got my Facebook webcam. I've got my YouTube webcam. I've got YouTube comments here. I've got Facebook comments down here. And then I've got what will soon be my beloved Buffalo Bills playing the Baltimore Ravens. So fingers crossed for a great show, for a good time, and for an amazing game. Kevin, you wasted no time at all in hitting me where I live with a Go Ravens. David Cox is in the house. Good to see you, David. Lawrence, happy Sunday. Good evening from Virginia. Yeah, I saw you, Kevin. Good to see you, buddy. Lori saying here in South Carolina and half. Yep, we actually exactly where I'm at. We got off real easy. I'm also in South Carolina. We got off pretty easy. A lot of down trees. A lot of people without power for a while, for sure. But compared to what's going on to some friends that I have in Augusta, Georgia, some friends in the mountain regions of North Carolina, clearly some people in Florida, and throughout my heart goes out to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Doreen, coming in from Tampa Bay, I'm doing great. Carolinas are prone to flooding for a number of different reasons, not the least of which is the high clay level of our soil. It just doesn't absorb the water. Am I watching the Bills game, Joseph? I have it on right down here. You can't see, but my eyes are on the pregame as we speak. I will do my level best to stay engaged because if there's one thing I love more than my Bills, it's our Gen X community. But it's close. That close. And if the game gets tight, we'll see. We shall see. Andrew, Gen X Goonie is here. Miana, hello, coming in from Canada. Yeah, Kevin, I see that Southwestern VA got hit hard. You know, we hear so many times before these things come through, right? To prepare and to watch out for it, and the news goes nuts. And I think a little bit of boy who cried wolf. You get to our age, and we've seen so many of these things come through. Sheila, good to see you in the house. That sometimes we don't take it seriously, and then something like this happens, and we see people impacted so strongly by it. God, my heart goes out to everybody, praying for everybody. I hope everybody comes back and recovers quickly. I know a lot of people in my area have family members in the Asheville region that doesn't have cell phone tower coverage, that doesn't have internet, doesn't have power, just haven't been in touch with them. And I'm praying that everybody's family and friends are all right. Yeah, not much else to say about that. All we can do at this point is support where we can, keep them in our thoughts, keep them in our prayers, and hope for the absolute best. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the wonderful world of Gen X. Carrie, hello. You don't expect an entire interstate a couple hundred miles inland to flood. That's just it. We don't expect a lot of things, but there it is. That's the way it is. And we've seen it. Most of us are in our 40s and 50s, if not older now. We've seen it. We've seen it before. Hi, Bethany. There's a lot in our lives that we didn't expect to happen, and yet here it is. So enough said on that. Princess Goose says, I live in Citrus Park. We got some wind, but not a huge amount of rain. Sarah's doing good in Middle Florida as well. Alabama dodged the hurricane, praying for our neighbors. Sheila, the same. That's all we can do at this point, truly and honestly. That aside, welcome. Talk about different things, better things. I mean, it's your show to run, guys. What can we talk about? Kevin brings up John Ashton, aka John Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop, just passed away. Somebody just shared with me before I came on. I saw that Chris Christopherson, I think, passed away, and somehow I didn't catch that. So again, that's part of us getting older. We will see. Hey, Philip Busker, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for being a new subscriber. We will see that. We will see the legends that we grew up with. This has been an especially tough year. I mean, they're all tough. But not only did we see icons and legends like Tina Turner pass away, but we saw our own contemporaries, like our buddy Chandler from Friends, Matthew Perry, Shannon Doherty, our age group, our contemporaries, and that's going to be something we're going to have more and more of. That's the nature of life, right? Is that no one gets out of it alive. But geez, this is a rough conversation we're having. I need to switch this. And as I say that, Maggie Smith, actor who played the best Roman Brady in Days, passed away as well. It's a balance of trying to memorialize and remember those people that we grew up with without getting so morose that I don't want to do the show anymore. Problem with getting older is we have to say goodbye to friends or be the ones to go. And I guess all things being equal. Hey, Wire, how are you? Been raining for a couple days there. Yeah, that's the trend, buddy. It's those deaths that make us feel old or that make us feel grateful that we're still here to make sure that we do what we can with what I hope is the many years we have left. Whistler from Blade, the headmistress from Harry Potter has died. Guys, sheesh. We got to switch the topic of conversation. Again, it's yours to run, but ouch. Love your content. Helps remember the few good things about my childhood. Thank you. You're welcome, Jeremy. And I hope as you remember and you look back, you're able to realize there may have been more good things than you even initially realized. Part of my journey was really discovering over the past couple years that the best parts of my childhood that I thought were pertinent only to me, those really weird, strange, I thought solitary things, those things that I thought nobody would be able to understand that made up my childhood, I realized I share with 100, then 200, then 400, then a million of my closest friends. Nothing about me is so rare. Nothing about me is so individualized as I had thought it had been. There is a lot that binds us together, even things we didn't know. And I think what's amazing about our generation, and I've said it before, is it's not that we survived the weird things that we grew up in, the generational gap where we were left to our own devices. We were the generation pinned between moms being home and daycare being a thing. We were the generation that was pinned between no technology and all technology. We were the generation who sadists built playgrounds designed to kill us. It's not any of those things that make us who we are. It's that we look back on those things, the corporal punishment, the fact that we were spanked by anyone that knew our full legal name. It's the fact that we look back on those things and can laugh, that we look back on those things and somehow our generation is rare enough, strange enough, weird enough, awesome enough, cool enough that we actually look back on things that other generations would see as horrible and somehow have a sense of a nostalgia about it, a dark sense of humor about it, an acceptance about it, and said, yeah, you know what? That makes us us. That makes us who we are, and we're kind of okay with it. Never do we look back in general as a generation and feel victimized by our upbringing, even if we chose to bring up our own kids differently, which some of us did. Even if we said, you know what? Yeah, upon further reflection, letting a 9-year-old be at home alone with a 4-year-old, probably not the best idea. Letting my 9-year-old go watch Jaws in the theater without any parental supervision or screening that movie first, probably not the best idea. Taking pictures of my 3-year-old toddler with a cigarette in his mouth and a Budweiser beer can that he just sipped from, people might look at that somewhere down the road and say, not really great parenting. But we look back on all of it and we can laugh at it and we're like, all right, you know what? It was what it was. Pinballing in the back of a dilapidated pickup truck with no seatbelt or safety harnesses of any kind. Okay. We survived it and we find a way to enjoy it. Science says I'm going camping next week, getting the kids to play flashlight tag in the campground right where my grandfather owned. That is awesome, Sonia. Back when my uncle would pick us up with a beer hand drive. Yeah, one beer in hand, driving the car. No more naked baby pics. Let's go, Buffalo. Hey, Mr. Universe. Warning number 1, buddy. FAFO rules apply. Loved riding the back of my dad's pickup truck. Hey, Steve Bondi. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, what's going on, Black Cats? Good to see you. Sarah Rubin, I think I said hello. I see you in there. Vicky O, Sheila. Bill DeMarco, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I remember babysitting a newborn at the age of 10, and it was okay. Well, Michelle, but it wasn't okay, right? It turned out okay. A million different ways that it might not have turned out okay. It's It's just we lived in that moment of time where it might not have been okay as per se, but it was allowed. No one was having those discussions at the time. It's just the way it was. And shout out to our parents. Sometimes I'll get somebody, I'm sorry your childhood sucked. I'm sorry your childhood sucked so badly. I'm sorry your parents didn't love and care for you. I'm sorry you feel neglected. People take that leap in my content sometimes, and it doesn't seem to matter how often I tell them that's not at all what I'm talking about. My parents love me dearly. My mom to this death loves me dearly. I'm her favorite. They just did what every other parent was doing. It's ironic because we could look to our parents and say, why did you do that? And their answer, ironically enough, would be because everybody else was doing it too. And the irony is in that how many times did we hear from those self-same parents that when we use that as an excuse, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? They use the fact that everyone was doing it as a reason to have done it. And I think that's ironic. Driving a 100-pound piece, 100-ton, probably 100,000-pound piece of farm equipment at 9. Yep. Evening from northern Wisconsin. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Our parents trusted us more. Maybe, Jason. Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't have a choice. They were forced in a world where divorce was happening in large numbers for the first time ever. And ironically, that's a record we still keep. Our parents got divorced more than even today's parents. Divorce hit an all-time high. It was like a fad. For our parents, things got tough, and in a lot of cases, they realized for the first time ever that, you know what, we can split up, and so they did en masse. And then single moms were forced to say, you know what, sorry, kiddo, I know you're 9, but here's your 3-year-old brother. I wish you luck. Try not to die. Things started getting expensive. We wanted more. We went from a generation of people that were really happy driving that piece of junk 1968 Impala. And sharing one car between mom and dad, or mom didn't even drive, to all of a sudden both parents needed a car, and not only needed a car, but needed a newer car. So we wanted more stuff. So parents ended up having to work more, both of them, because life got expensive. We stopped watching shows like All in the Family and One Day at a Time, Alice, and shows like that, which showed a struggling family group, right? Nobody in the 70s was rich. Even shows that went back in time, Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley, middle class at best. And then the 80s pivoted, and we're watching shows like Dallas and Dynasty and Falcon Crest and Knots Landing, where they've all got everything. So then just sociologically, we wanted more, started using credit. Both parents needed to work. And we got left home alone. So, Welcome Back Kotter. Great example, Real Killers. Great example. Who was rich in Welcome Back Kotter? Yeah, Laverne's dad owning a bowling alley. The Jeffersons. How ironic is that? The only rich family in the 70s was, demographically speaking, the least likely family to have been rich in the 70s. Sweat hogs. You could drive back and forth to school or work on a farm. 227, Miami Vice. All those shows in the 80s changed drastically. Everything about it changed. It really was. The 80s were amazing in so many ways, but it was also a period of time where commercialization went through the roof. Everybody wanted stuff. Brady Bunch, pure middle class, but they had everything. Not quite everything, Kevin. If you remember, the Brady Bunch was, for the most part, missing two very important things. Number one, a toilet. No matter what scene you ever saw the kids getting ready in the bathroom, it was against censorship standards for there to be a toilet in that bathroom. So for a family that had everything, including a maid, didn't have a toilet. And the other thing they didn't have, except for one episode where they traded in their green stamps, was a television. That television showed up for that episode. When the girls wanted a sewing machine and the boys wanted a canoe, they settled for a TV. And that was the only time you really saw that television highlighted as part of the episode. It was never on. Drove at 12 also. Charles in charge. Technology kept changing, so we wanted to stay up to date. And again, these, I will say constantly, I don't judge what we did in time. I don't judge how our parents raised us. I don't judge the way things change. I mean, it's silly to try to judge the past with today's eyes. We know, I was going to say more. I don't know that we know more today. I was just screening a video where a 22-year-old girl thought she could buy literally rolls of quarters on Amazon because she didn't know where else to get quarters to do her laundry. My reaction to that video coming soon. Yeah. So I don't know that we know more, but we know differently today. Yeah, that's it exactly, Rebecca. We know different today. Yes, Brady Bunch also had clothes. You know what's amazing about Brady Bunch? Even with the clothes they wore, I remember as a kid not realizing that for the most part, I was watching that show in reruns. It never struck me that, wait a minute, this can't be now. It just never really hit me that I was watching, for the most part, reruns. Same thing with Happy Days, although Happy Days went into the 80s. The earliest episodes, I remember seeing Joni really young and being very confused why she was growing old faster than me. Hey, Lily, good to see you. Kimberly, hello. Didn't ever stay about the Brady. Bun was my last. Go Bills, Sheila. I wore Brady clothes. I loved Brady clothes. First time seeing a live stream channel is awesome. Thank you so much, T-Man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I grew up watching Cheers and MASH, Different Strokes. My parents were the best. They married from 57s to 2020. I miss them. Kristen, I miss my dad every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of my pop. And not a day that goes by that, although I don't call her nearly as much as I should, if you're watching, Mom, I love you. And I owe you a phone call. Leave It to Beaver is the first TV show to show the back of a toilet bowl in the 50s. Loved Wonder Years. American Bandstand, Amy. Hogan's Heroes. Could you imagine Greg doing Hogan's Heroes today? Imagine walking into a room. I've said this before. You might have heard me say this before, but imagine walking into Paramount or Warner Brothers and saying, hey, I got an idea for a show. I want to pitch what's going to be this amazing comedy. It's going to take place in a POW camp. Yeah, prisoner of war camp. During World War II. And, well, yeah, they'll be Nazis, but they'll be funny. They'll be goofy Nazis. We'll have this big fat guy, Schultz. But instead of shooting Jews and stuff, we'll just make him know nothing, see nothing. And Klinkle, I mean, how the hell did they get away with it? But I've said it a million times. I love that they were able to do that back then. And the character, the actor who played the character LeBeau, was actually a prisoner of war himself and loved the fact that they did that. That they were able to marginalize the evil that he saw in his world and laugh at it and make fun of it and make them look small as a result. I don't know we could do that today. Carlos, I'm sorry to hear that. Roseanne show Blue Collar until they ruined it and had them win the lottery, but I guess that was a dream in the end. Hey, Bob Weber or Weaver, good to see you, bud. Laughing, great show. Cried at the end of MASH. I don't think you were alone. 5 years this week, my dad will be gone. Paul, I'm so sorry, but you know, my dad's passed but not gone. I don't let him be gone. I keep him in my memory. I hear his voice daily. One thing about Greek parents, their voices are never really gone from your mind. I'm 54 years old, and to this day, if I'm doing something stupid, I hear my dad instantly in my head, letting me know that I'm being stupid. I pray my kids will always hear my voice that way. No worries, Tom. Just glad you made it. Jessica says, I love the theme song. Theme songs to most shows were awesome back then and evoke really great nostalgia in me, whether it's Cheers or MASH, Taxi, or The Cosby Show, Friends even, as we get. I truly miss that aspect of television because today they don't waste time on an intro. 9 times out of 10, the show will just start and they'll put the subtitles or the credits, so to speak, right along the side while the show is starting. But I love that. Great theme songs. Welcome Back, Cotter, one of my favorites. WKRP in Cincinnati, one of my favorites. Greatest American Hero carries the record for being probably among the most iconic. Josh Allen drops back to pass on 3rd and 5. He's running for it. First down. And he slid. And he slid. My boy slid. My boy doesn't usually slide. I was really happy to see him slide. Still watch Maude. I can't. So regarding Maude, or more specific, more to the point, B. Arthur, I find it hard to watch the Golden Girls now. And I watch it because my wife keeps the TV, generally speaking. We still have a 12-year-old daughter in the house. And so she keeps the TV on safe channels when we're not actively there watching. Imagine our parents ever doing that. So one of the safe channels is like TV Land, and they'll play that old stuff, and they'll play the Golden Girls, and I just sit there watching the Golden Girls, and I'm still shocked that they're all past now, all of them. It reminds me as a kid when I used to watch I Love Lucy, and I would ask my mom, which ones are still alive and which ones are gone, because the show seemed so old to me that I'm like, of course these people can't still be alive. And my 12-year-old sees Golden Girls that way. I was wondering how could you do this live while the game is on? Because I'm wild. 4th and inch is my ass. Oh, that's a bad. We got it. That was a bad call. 4th and inch is my ass. 1st and 10. Do it again. All right. Yeah, that was a very bad spot. Not happy about it. This is not the way I want this to start. But Josh kept it on the quarterback keep, and he got it. So I apologize to those that maybe aren't football-minded. This episode will be sprinkled with me yelling, screaming, cursing, and keeping at least one eye on the game at all times. So that's just the way it is. Cheers. Great theme show. I'm going to steal that pen and give you one that does not click. Sorry. Nice 50-yard line. I get nervous when the Bills are on. What can I tell you? I need a fidget of some kind. Hey, this doesn't click. I'll just do this. Bull from Night Court passed away a few months back. Yeah, the beginning of this year. Miss my mom every day. I get that, Cindy. Now, either y'all have stopped commenting on YouTube, or I am stuck because I'm not seeing any updates on YouTube's comments. So if you're commenting, I'm sorry, at the moment I'm not seeing it. Yeah, that went nowhere. And the swearing and watching sports was my favorite Sunday pastime. I was allowed to. All the Boston sports, I could swear. So you're stuck. I have both up. Yeah, Jason, so it's not just me. Hopefully, so you can still see me on YouTube, I'm assuming, but I apologize that I'm not seeing the comments roll. So my apologies. Not my fault. But according to Jason, y'all can still see. So, to paraphrase G.I. Joe, seeing is half the battle. I loved experiencing the game secondhand. Your calls are fantastic. I need a fidget spinner for a lot in my life, Michelle. Incomplete. Shoot. Yes, we see you can't see us. It's all good. My apologies. I don't want to do anything that might cause me to lose you all, is the thing. There. I think I might have fixed it. I fixed it. Loving Newhart from Jamaica. That's knowing is half the battle. Hence the fact that I said paraphrasing. Paraphrased it to make it my own. Watch WWF Wrestling. Put out of Buffalo back in the day. Are you going to any other Bills games this year? I was invited by a follower to the San Francisco game on December 1st. We'll see. Not sure. As enamored as I am with Buffalo and with the Bills, I'm less enamored with cold and snow. So we'll see. Vikings won today. I saw that. Sorry, but the game and click was a little much. Yeah, I get it. I switched. Have I watched the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix? I have not. You know what I just saw that's excellent, though? Whether or not you ever watched Punky Brewster. I know some of us were a little old when Punky Brewster came on. Wasn't really a show some of us worked. Yeah, I fixed it, Chris, so we're back up and running on YouTube. Kid 90s. Or 90s Kids, or I think it was Kid 90s. It's a 2021 documentary that Soleil Moonfry filmed, because apparently the actress who played Punky, Soleil Moonfry, had a camcorder everywhere she went. And no matter what you think about her or what you think about the actress or the show, the fact that somebody in the late 80s into the 90s would have a camcorder with them constantly and record conversations. She saved I almost said voicemail. She saved answering machine cassette tapes with messages on them. Like she knew she would need it someday. And for a generation that has little to no proof that we ever existed, it's kind of cool going back and seeing actual footage of that time. It's like it's a reason I think I've got a soft spot in my heart for the real world, or at least the first season or two, because I liked seeing what that looked like in real time, not edited through movies necessarily. Kid 90, Latanya, I agree. Really good documentary. It's well worth a look. Thank you, Lisa Romero. How did I get started on my channel? What gave you the idea for a Gen X channel? That's a really good question, Lisa, and I don't think anyone's really ever asked me that before. I never intended to make a Gen X channel. And every now and then people still ask me, do you ever worry that you'll run out of content because you specifically do Gen X era content? And my answer in a way is no, I don't. I do content that's pertinent to me. And because it's pertinent to me, then a lot of times it's pertinent to those people that grew up with the same experience. So it is de facto a Gen X channel, and I incorporated that into my nickname. But I'll never run out of content because we're still, Gen X isn't really just the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's every second that we're here experiencing things through our eyes, our unique perspective. That's why on my videos, I'll have a video of sounds we listened to growing up, but then I'll do a reaction to something today, reacting to a Zoomer, Gen Z kid saying something, or, a millennial saying something, or it's just, this is our perspective on current events of today. So it really just kind of happened accidentally. But I think the older we get, the more we appreciate nostalgia. We love looking back and realizing it's not just me. Our collective memory will always provide content. Son of a bitch! Come on! Sometimes it's tough being a Bills fan because we always find a way to make so many games tight and close and annoying. That was ridiculous. 87-yard scoring drive, one play for Baltimore. Just like that. 87 friggin' yards. Uh-huh. Unbelievable. Here's what it is. All right. Great live show. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Got distracted there for a second, but it's all right. We'll get back. Or we won't. Breathe, you stopped. Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan too, so I have it tough all the way around, but at least the Cubs finally got it to me in 2016. I thought of you when I watched the Bengals game last week with my dad. Hey, the Bengals got their first win today against Carolina. Remember Bigfoot and Wild Boy? I actually did a video. Niners. I couldn't read your name. Yes, I absolutely did a video about shows that I didn't think many people remembered. And Bigfoot and Wild Boy was one of them. It was a Croft show. So if you remember Marty Croft and his brother, they made a lot of shows that they fit into a Croft Super Hour. And that's where a lot of things like the Banana Splits, I think, a lot of shows came out of that. I think they developed Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, maybe. Sid and Marty Croft, absolutely. Thank you, Doreen. So that was one of those. That was one of their shows. And they actually borrowed a lot of sound effects that they purchased or used right from the $6 Million Man. So if you watch Bigfoot jumping, you'll hear the $6 Million Man jumping sounds. Hey, Ms. Let's see, Addison Moody, how do you remember me? No? The Mr. Gnu Show, Land of the Lost, all those, absolutely. Harry and the Hendersons, I think you might be right. Banana Splits, now you're aging us. I hope you have Bills game on in the background. I kind of do, but at the moment, that's not a good thing. We're down 7-0. 10:50 to go in the first. Witchy Poo. If you listen to Freak That One Song, I will give you a sub and a like. I don't know what that means. Airwolf was awesome, as was Riptide. Just recently featured both of those in a video. Remember when Captain Marvel was a man? Really, I remember when Captain Marvel. So I'm a comic book dork, so I remember a lot about Captain Marvel. He was my favorite superhero growing up, and ironically, Captain Marvel Jr., which was Captain Marvel's sidekick, was the favorite superhero of Elvis. But Captain Marvel actually almost got taken down. He almost got finished before he started because DC Comics sued Fawcett Comics. And Fawcett Comics owned Captain Marvel. Huge lawsuit between the two companies saying he was too much like Superman. And they went back and forth. And then Captain Marvel got another hit because Marvel Comics sued him over the name Captain Marvel because of the Marvel character Captain Marvel, which is why the comic book had to be called Shazam and not Captain Marvel. And then eventually Fawcett Comics was bought out by DC Comics, which is owned by Warner Brothers, and things finally settled down. So there. Again, the more you know. Who remembers Mr. Magoo, played by the voice of Gilligan's Island? Great. I don't remember his actual name, but Mr. Howell. Foofer, I don't remember. Mighty Orbot's Wire, that rings a bell, but I'm not quite getting it. Jim Backus, thank you, Kimberly. Shazam and Isis are, yes, Deborah, thank you. Another Jim Backus. Can't believe the Simpsons have been on the air for 35 years. Chris Topher coming in with Jim Backus. Good memory, guys. Joseph. Come on, Josh. All right, another first down. So what they need to do is have Kincaid and Knox double tight end set. If it's not a pass, they can block. They're both big boys. That'll open up the running game for Davis and Cook, taking some of the pressure off our boy Josh. I just need some of this stuff to happen. Oh, and I will say many times, this will be the first. If this is a drinking game, y'all can drink. I'm going to tell you I hate Chris Collinsworth's commentary. Speed Buggy, I just featured. I do this, I think I'm up to 7 now. 7 videos featuring sounds that are familiar to us Gen Xers, and I feature Speed Buggy in the 7th installment. A vroom, vroom, zoom, a zoom, zoom. A vroom, a vroom, vroom, something like that. Tell the couches to watch me. Don't know that one. YouTube's a little blurry. Sorry, it could be the fact that I'm running a lot off the Wi-Fi at the moment because of the Bills game. Watching you watch the game brings back memories my mom would watch, just like you. I hope that's a good thing, Michelle. Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse, I hear a lot. I don't remember it. Matthew, that's okay. That's okay. I hope you enjoy the game. If it goes your way, still don't want it to. Aaron, I had a major problem with Alf. I don't know why. It was very annoying to me. Marco, 90210. I never thought that so early on in our lives we'd live on in a world without Dylan and Brenda in it. And by that, of course, I mean Luke Perry and Shannon Doherty. To get back to how we started the show, it just amazes me. It just doesn't seem possible. But that's the way things go. Roku, Tubi, and something else have a lot of great... all those freebies... Oh, freebie shows, streaming services, great place to watch 80s content. Agreed. Do I like college football? My favorite's Ohio State. Because I went to school at UB, Buffalo. Because I spent so much time there. Whoa, I almost knocked this down. I really don't have a favorite college football team. UB was not great, even though we were Division I. SU, I guess, would be the closest to an actual... good college team that I could root for. So don't really have an affinity for college. I watch NFL more than anything. All I wanted to do was show my new hat from the Bulls, which is UB, University of Buffalo. Remember getting spanked for breaking stuff? Was that just my house? If we, how they always say don't cry over spilt milk? I always cried over spilt milk. Because if I spilt the milk, my mom would spank me for making a mess. If we broke something, we got spanked. If we tipped something over, we got spanked. If we made a mess of things, we got spanked. I don't know if that was just me. Because, my kids break things. It's an accident, right? That's the definition of accident. It wasn't on purpose. Now, there were times when we did really stupid stuff, and I could see that. But we got spanked for accidents. Hey, Andrew, good to see you. I broke my mom's antique lamp and got spanked. Oh, sounds like fun, Doreen. I cried over my broke butt. Most kids got spanked. I got lectured. If you broke it, sometimes we had to pay for it. I used to because I got the belt. I was spanked. I was told to tell the truth and I wouldn't get spanked. She lied. Go flag on the play. I don't know what just happened there. Yeah, so I got to do a video on why Gen X is critical, why we are less than trustworthy. We don't believe things. We don't take things at face value. And I think a big part of it was I got that lie told to me as a young kid that if I tell the truth, I won't get in trouble or I won't get spanked. And I told the truth and I got in trouble and I got spanked. I got told that if I just stop running away and come here right now, that I wouldn't get spanked. And I came and I got spanked. We bought sea monkeys through the mail, thinking that they were going to be trainable pets. And it was like sprinkling dust onto water. They did nothing. I bought x-ray glasses from the comic book ads that couldn't see through anything. There is example after example after example of just lies that were told to us. And as a result, it is a statistical fact that people of our generation are the hardest to market to. We take nothing at face value. If we see an advertising saying something, an advertisement, we will dig into the reviews. We need someone to validate what the company is saying before we buy into it. And one step further, even if we really think something's a great idea, the minute that same company with the product that we just said we loved tries to outwardly pitch to us and sell it to us, we no longer want it. If someone's trying to sell it to us, we lose interest immediately. Nice. See, that's it. Those quick little passes. Josh has to just keep, if we have to keep it like that, if we're not able to put it on the ground, if we don't have the running game, then we got to run through the air. And by that, I mean, not the 20 or 30 yard passes. I mean, 4 or 5 yard passes substituted for a run. Just drop back, throw quick, drop back, throw quick. That's why our generations are realists. Catholic kids had to go to confession. Shakir's down, but it doesn't look like he's hurt too bad. Columbia House for a penny, Chris, I will say that they got the worst of that deal, not us. So as many times as people tried to take advantage of us, because we were the first generation of kids with their own money too. Kids before us, younger boomer kids, started having, statistically speaking, again, if you're a boomer and you happen to work at 14 years old or 13 or 10, I get it. I'm not invalidating your experience. I'm telling you it wasn't the norm. The norm for most boomer kids was they had summer jobs and after school jobs starting in high school, junior year, that sort of thing. A lot of them played sports, so they came before the jobs. A lot of us, statistically speaking, worked early, really friggin' early. Whether it was a paper route, whether it was on the farm, whether it was babysitting, we worked early and had our own money, and companies started to realize it. And they started pitching to us directly because they knew we didn't necessarily have to ask our parents for things because they weren't going to give it to us 9 times out of 10 anyway. So we had money, and marketers started pitching to us. And it made us wary. And like I said, statistically, they've done research. We are the hardest generation to sell to. How about BB gun fights? 2-pump max. We had a 3-pump rule. You're right, Chris. Everybody broke it. Nobody admitted to it. This is good. This will definitely be a video soon. The lies that we heard. Keep them coming. But Columbia House, we lied to them. We said we'd pay. We said we would buy 4 more albums at regular club prices, and most of us never did. How I recall, a credit card just ordered stuff from catalog. Yeah, there were those. And then I remember, if you guys think back, speaking of credit cards, I helped my 18-year-old with her first credit card. Co-signed, I tracked it, I watched it, I told her when she could use it, when she couldn't. I explained to her how credit scores are calculated. I helped her with financial responsibility and understanding that. I got my first credit card at 18. I don't think my parents even knew. I was away at college. And back then, credit scores were a little different. The way you had to find somebody willing to give you a credit card before others would. And for a lot of us, it was Sears. And I remember being in the Boulevard Mall in Buffalo, and Sears would have a woman sitting outside the store with a little table. And they just basically pitched it, come get your first credit card. Hell, they came to our college campuses back then. and gave us credit cards and ruined our credit early and often. They can't do that anymore. There's laws prohibiting credit card companies from slamming college kids now. But again, it made us wary. We paid for it. We figured it out. We effed around. We bought more than we could afford. Yeah, Filene's is another one with early credit. Finger Hut, Montgomery Wards. Yeah, they figure at the end of the day, our parents probably would bail us out if we needed to. But if you're like me, when I never told my parents. There were credit cards at 20 that just shut me down and I had to make up payment plans. But I figured it out and I got caught up. I could care less about credit score right now. Yeah, I care about it when and if I need it. I was in banking for many years. I understand how important credit is for things like insurance, not just credit cards. But at the end of the day, the thing I always told my customers, the people that came and relied on me for advice is life happens. There are times when your credit score is going to be lower because your utilization is up. And it's because your kid needed braces. It's because you had to put medical bills on there. It's because you got laid off. It's because any number of things. And it is what it is. Yeah, Nancy, I agree. How did you find your test scores in college? Lori, exactly like you did. We would go to our wherever we had class. So for me, it was Knox Lecture Hall at UB. And right next to the door, as you said, would be a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper would be everybody's social security number. Another flag. Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Oh. And yeah, our name, because our student number, hey BJ, our student number was our social security number. So that's how they would put it. Same ones that played Rocket, Robin Hood, and ancient Marvel Comics cartoons. My bony ass broke the wooden spoon my mother used on my ass. What color was my hypercolor shirt? Didn't have one. Those came along in the 90s, I think. I was probably in my... Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is not a good game. Oh, well. It is if you're a Baltimore fan. I lost my train of thought. Hot Pink for Vale. Yeah, I was like 21, I think, when they came out, so really wasn't a thing for me. Chris says our credit scores are based on where they hit the dartboard. Then they add subtract a few points. Yeah, it could be completely different at different times. What's going on, Jillian from Pennsylvania? Good to see you. How to get your identity stolen today? Post everyone's social security numbers. Yeah, but like so many other things back then, it was harder to steal our identities because there weren't computers to steal them on. Don't worry about it. Really, at the end of the day, it'll be okay. Let's see, the Bills just broke John. Nah, it didn't break me yet. Dude, listen, I was around for 1990 and 91 and 92 and 93. So if those 4 years didn't break me, I think I'm all right. I'm used to being a Bills fan. I'm good. Spanish teacher threw a textbook at me for chewing gum. I got erasers thrown at me. What's the Baltimore Ravens score? Still looking at 7-0 at the moment, but Bass is about to try to kick. And right through the middle, 7-3 now. Still losing. Try being a Giants fan? I don't know, Chris. You guys took that Super Bowl from us, which is one of the greatest Super Bowls ever for a lot of people. So I would love to be a Giants fan. At least you have a Super Bowl win. Giving my fingerprints at a bike safety course. Chiefs about killed me in the 90s. I loved the Chiefs back then. I was a huge Joe Montana fan in San Francisco. I had a lot of respect for Marcus Allen and the fact that he was stuck playing at the Raiders for the longest time. So when both of them ended up in Kansas City, it was a lot of fun for me. Shelly, we'll do what we can. Love the 49ers in the 80s. Yeah, it was a fun team to watch for sure. I miss Mean Joe Green. I miss St. Louis Marshall Faulk. Steelers fan since birth. Atlanta Falcon was the only team in the South. Be one of those fans. Thurman Thomas still looking for his helmet. Kevin, you never cease to make me smile. You and Pierpont, man. It must be the name. Our auto shop teacher would kick us right in the butt if we were screwing around. Still great friends with him. Anyone make a video in case you went missing? No one really cared enough to make a video of me. Montana and Rice were amazing. I was just talking about this at the bar the other day. That these names we're talking about: Mean Joe Green, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Jim McMahon, Refrigerator Perry, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Earl Campbell. We didn't know enough about them to do anything but idolize them. We were, as kids, allowed to have them be our heroes because we weren't seeing their exploits, the stupid things they would tweet, tabloid television or internet sites posting things. And I think that even if there was, they held themselves to a standard where they believed that they owed something to the kids watching, to the fans. And I could be right or I could be wrong. And I think there were outliers that maybe cared a little more and a little less. But in general, I don't think kids get the heroes that we did. I think that's one more thing in a list of many that was a trade-off. When social media came, when the internet came, when technology came, when a 24-hour news cycle came, a lot of good came out of it. But as everything else in the world, when there's good, that there's always the flip side of the coin. I don't think kids really have the heroes that we had. Deb asks, what happened to the code of conduct? Good point. Yeah, Damon, we mentioned that about Chris Christopherson. Definitely. It's, and Corey says, I played for the love of the game, not for the endorsement. So number one, part of that might be perspective looking back, and we could be right or we could be wrong. But what is true is they didn't play for the level of money they're playing for today. So there had to be some love of the game, right? Because they weren't all making the money they're making now. What's going on, Topher? Good to see you, brother. Social media absolutely killed the notion of heroes. And shame on them, Kevin, for that. Because you know what? They know it's there. They know they're being watched. To the earlier point, there should be, could be, would be, needs to be a code of conduct. There needs to be these clauses back in their contracts that say, okay, so you're money motivated? Great. F around and find out. It'll cost you money. And it should go for the owners as well. If you're getting all kinds of things at massage parlors, maybe there should be a penalty there. Oh, come on. That should have gone nowhere. Take him down. Jeez. Sorry. Oh, shut up, Chris. My God. For a mediocre wide receiver from Cincinnati? Seriously? Oh my God, Mr. Obvious, shut up. How about Sunday morning cartoons, Josh? For me, it was Saturday morning cartoons, but yeah, love the Laugh Olympics. Laugh Olympics to me was kind of like the cartoon version of Battle of the Network Stars. Yeah, no, I'm not a Chris fan. Not even a little. Sonia says my daughter told her counselor in middle school that I'm an FAFO mom. A little bit, Valerie. I tried to settle it down. Can't say that on television. I was not a cable kid at the time, so I didn't get to watch that then. I've since watched it, checked things out. Very cool show. We Need His Coffee. I've only had one cup today. This is all natural ADHD being shown in its finest. And I will say I am doing very well multitask focusing on lots of different things. Or at least I'm trying to. The reason UNTS called was Green was because Mean Joe Green, college football at UNT, got it. Bugs and Tweety show. I remember it as the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show, but I think it was called Tweety as well. ADHD, yeah, a little bit, Kimberly. Didn't know. Never was. Actually, my daughter struggles with it a little bit, and when she was diagnosed, her doctor thought I was fully aware of the fact that apparently I have it too, because he told her to talk to me about coping mechanisms. Damn it. He's like, talk to your dad. How does he cope? And I looked at him and go, why would I know? And he's like, seriously, you don't realize? But yeah. Remind me of how my dad acted watching the Alabama Crimson Tide. You're killing me, Smalls. We all have it. There's something to be said for that. And I remember the kid being tied down in his chair in grade school. The teacher had enough. And, tied him down and said, you're going to sit in that chair. I don't know. I've never medicated for it. I'm pretty good about it. I like it. I look at it as an advantage in some ways as much as it did as a deficit. I know some people struggle more with it. I've learned to utilize the hyper focus that comes with ADHD to my advantage. And I've got coping mechanisms like, I remember my mom telling me there's no way you can focus on homework with the stereo going and the TV on. And what she never really realized is that was the only way I could focus on my homework. The fact that the TV was on and the stereo was playing somehow made it easier for me to focus on the homework. I don't know how it works, but that's the way it works. I learned early on that coffee doesn't really agitate me. It doesn't really spark me up. It actually settles me down. I can't go to sleep at night without a cup of coffee. John, you just sounded like Jackie Gleason. Yeah, I also have got a bit of a stammer at times. Hey, Peanut.
Hi.
This is my reason for living. Reason for living, the whole world.
My hair was just like hot.
Your hair looks great.
No, I mean like
Bills are losing.
On your hand, like I know. Mom has it on.
Mom has it on downstairs?
Yeah, and this is Ryder's favorite thing.
So, if you guys go through my Facebook page, this is obligatory dad stuff. Ignore this. You don't have to do it, okay? You absolutely don't have to do it. But if you're the type of person that goes ahead and buys cards that give you discounts, hypothetically for like $25, her volleyball team is like this close to making their goal. I posted only once because I didn't want to do it a lot. It's privileged. It's entitled to expect followers to support your daughter's volleyball team. But I'm just asking, if you happen to be on Facebook and you happen to be scrolling down about 9 or 10 posts, that's who it's going to help. So there. And if you don't, no big deal. Cat's name is Bodie Ash. We always buy one for daughters in high school. Come on, they're going to score again. I almost said we need a turnover, and that's like the rallying cry of the losers. When you start begging for turnovers, you know that it's not looking good.
Dorian Williams, did you hear his, like, when they were introducing themselves?
Yeah. Actually, Dorian Williams, who is a Bills linebacker, actually defensive lineman, I should say, is a graduate of the school that this one's going to. Now, they're not looking good, Lori, but you know what? If we can stay within 7 or 10 points, I still feel pretty good about our chances of catching up. This goal line stance would be a really important thing to stop. If we can keep them even at 3 points, it would make a big deal. Thank you, Jody. Jody actually is one of the followers that did contribute. Sissy, she's somebody that... So Jody Stapleton is one of the people that contributed to your thing.
Oh.
So you might want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if you know this, Christopher Spafferson. Yeah, I just found out that today. I will tell you, I went to some of my friends' games in high school, whether it was soccer games, volleyball games, baseball. I went to those games, swimming matches, swimming meets, and I saw parents in the stand. So I know there were parents that did go watch their kids play sports. So sometimes I'll make fun of the fact that my parents owned a diner. And the diner was like a sibling to me. That diner had as much thought given to it as me or my two brothers did. If we were going somewhere, somebody had to take care of the restaurant. If we wanted to go on vacation, who was going to stand behind and watch the restaurant? If I wanted my parents to come somewhere or watch me play, who was going to take care of the restaurant? So my parents didn't very often come to things like games when my brothers and I would play. They had to be at the restaurant. And I remember I was in a thing called American Legion Boys State. And there was about 5,000 of us that got together and we built our own state, so to speak, in Lemoyne, outside of Syracuse. And we elected like mayors in the little towns that we were broken into and city officials. And it was basically an exercise in civics. And at the end of the day, at the very, very top level, you elect a governor. And out of the 5,386 kids, I somehow managed to get myself elected governor. And I remember I was allowed to give a speech. And Mario Cuomo was coming to speak with me. Like, I was going to get to speak, and then I got to introduce Mario Cuomo. And I remember calling my parents to tell them I was elected governor and inviting them up to see the speech. And to this day, I remember my mom saying, well, what day? And I said, Friday. And she goes, honey, fish fry on Friday. Too busy. Now, they came. but it took a lot of explaining as to why they needed to leave the restaurant in order to come along and watch me there. Sheila says, hello, beautiful lady. Doreen, take care of yourself. Stay safe. And I do understand it. It's self-employed and immigrants and parents of 3 boys, and they did everything they could for us. But the things which are now hers, I do everything I possibly can to get to as many of her games as possible. And if you think I'm crazy watching the Bills play, you should see what I turn into at her volleyball games. Because when they forget to update the score, I got to tell you, there are times when I worry I'm going to be shown the door. What are you nodding for?
I agree.
Am I loud? Yeah? Am I embarrassing?
Sometimes, like when they were doing the cheer,
Yeah.
and you were late to it.
So they do the how do they do it?
Let's go Warriors.
Yeah, let's go Warriors, let's go, or something like that. And they do it twice. Well, I started on the 3rd time, and yeah. Please tell me you don't embarrass her, Kimberly. Not intentionally. I never intentionally embarrass her.
Right.
Sometimes it happens because I'm a dad, right? And that's just the way it is. But do I use embarrassment as a weapon like some of our parents did? No. Nah, I don't do that. I don't intentionally embarrass her. I'm definitely a proud dad, Jody. She's a good girl. Yeah, Chris, I survived it. Absolutely.
You be embarrassing.
I got to tell you, the fact that I have this channel sometimes is just embarrassing for her. Every now and then she'll have a teacher or somebody realize who I am or tell her that, oh my God, I follow your dad, and she finds that a little embarrassing. Or God forbid her friends find my channel. It's never a good day. I'd imagine it's hard to go live when your team is playing. It's a good distraction. Going back to that ADHD thing, being able to distract myself from it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'd be pacing up and down like a lunatic if I didn't have something to focus on.
It's like lopsided.
Josh says, knows, what's that? Well, because this is this one. And this one, when they watch it, it's not. This one inverts it for me.
Yeah. Wait, so this is the... Oh,
this
wait,
is Facebook,
camera.
and this is YouTube.
I thought...
I'm going on
that
both.
makes it look down.
Right.
But I'm actually pointing at the computer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even my parents, I don't think intentionally meant to embarrass me. You got to understand, being first generation, having parents who spoke broken English at best, it was tough. Plus, my dad was like much older when he had me. I think my dad was born in 26. So he was definitely silent gen. And my parents kind of had an arranged marriage for as long as it lasted, which was about 20 years. And my mom was 19 years younger than him. So she was boomer. But yeah, just being a dumb kid. I was just embarrassed when people would say, oh, is that your grandfather? And it was my father. Or people would say, oh, your parents don't speak English. And I'm like, they're speaking English, just not real well. Have you ever introduced her to our old toys like Green Machine? And she's seen all that stuff on my videos for sure.
It says just...
Hey, Cleo. Angela Blackburn says, keep up the good work at volleyball.
Thank you. They said, why so late was probably due to YouTube.
Oh, maybe. Nice to meet you. Kimberly says, nice to meet you. My dad almost started a fight with my hockey coach when I was about 12. Andrew says, hello, Cleo. All right, come on. We just need to change the momentum. My dad never daddy's girl. Yeah, both my girls are daddy's girls and mommy's girls. I like to think that my wife and I are really good at playing off each other and keeping each other honest. You know that whole theory about always having your spouse's back in front of the kids? We do a good job of that. But we also sometimes, in rare instances, we'll just kind of give each other a check and say, hold on a second. You may want, and take the kid's side when the kid's right. And that never happened. My parents never took my side over the other parent, ever. It was just assumed I was wrong. But even as parents, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. Sonia Lee says, please, keep kicking ass in volleyball. I played when we could beat each other up. When you spend time with and talk to and not at makes you stronger. Yeah, I talk to my kids, although I'll be honest, there are times when I speak at them, sometimes I'm not willing to share why in that moment. You know, there's still some of me that because I said so becomes a reason. Rarely, but as a 54-year-old man, as a 50-year-old father, depending on time and inclination, sometimes that's what they'll get, but not often. Does your daughter enjoy listening to our generation's music, movies, and TV shows? John asks if you like our music, our movies, and our TV shows. Yeah? What movies do you like?
Like all the ones that you show me.
We have movie night. She really loved the Back to the Future trilogy. TV shows, we watch a lot of stuff. Music, TikTok has really opened up a lot of that music to her. That's one of the good things about TikTok. Your vid is vertical on YouTube and full screen on Facebook. Yeah. Side Out is a volleyball movie. So, you know what's crazy? Side Out actually is how they used to keep score in volleyball. If you guys remember when we played, you could only score on your serve. If the other team was serving and they didn't make the point, they just lost the serve. They didn't lose a point. Now, if I'm serving and the team shoves down my throat, they get the point. And it took me a while to figure that out. I'm like, they're not keeping score right, but apparently that's how they keep score now. She better like the Goonies or she's fired. She likes the Goonies. We never made it all the way through Gremlins. Did you see the thing I bought from the Gremlin I bought yesterday?
I didn't actually see, like...
We were at the...
Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
We were at Spirit Halloween yesterday, and I picked this up yesterday. Because it's officially Halloween, which is spooky, and coming close to Christmas. I will always say Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Some people have it slated for Halloween. Either way, I saw this bobblehead and thought it was awesome, so we picked it up. And adding it to my collection of 80s, 70s, 90s stuff back here. Yes. So it's got its own spot.
These are cool because...
Careful.
Aren't these like...
It's candy in there, but it's throwback candy. Yeah. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. Gizmo was so cute. Spike, not Spike. Wait. What? Okay, here's definitely a Mandela. What was the name of the mean gremlin? The first one. The Gizmo was the cute one. What was the bad one? Yeah, Wirehead, it was Stripe. You're right. But I don't know why I always thought it was Spike. And it makes sense that it's Stripe because he had a stripe. So I guess it's not Mandela effect so much as me just being wrong. But I really remember it being Spike. I don't know why. And it's just me, apparently. So... Yeah. No, she won't be watching Porky's anytime soon. A couple other people said Spike. We did watch Airplane together. Tracy Patterson remembers it as Spike. Jessica is Spike. Lori. So there's a few of us. We saw Airplane together because I have it, and it's right there. The Don't Call Me Shirley edition, and it's rated PG. It's literally rated PG. So I thought, what could be wrong with showing Airplane if it's just PG? I mean, it's not even PG-13. It's stone cold PG. That's it. So you can imagine my surprise when my wife came home at exactly the moment that a blonde woman was running down the aisle of the plane topless, jiggling and bouncing all over the place. My wife thought I'd lost my mind. She's like, what are you watching with our then 10-year-old?
Yeah.
But again, I'm like, it's not even PG-13. So yeah, and he did have a stripe on his head. Airplane came out before PG-13 was a thing. I understand that. But rated R was a thing at the time. And I'm sorry, but boobies going down the center of the airplane, in addition to everything else in that, should have made it R. Come on! Son of a...
What the heck?
Come on! Damn it! Princess Bride, I think we started it much slower than I remember it being. A lot of our shows were a lot slower. Kids today have a really hard time with the pace of our movies because they're used to things going like really, really fast. Wirehead, there were more. The boobies was strike one towards the road to what should have been rated R. What was being done to the automatic pilot was strike two. And there's plenty that could have made that R. Careful, I'm turning red. But I have a ring that monitors my blood pressure and my heart rate, so I think I'm doing okay. Son of a biscuit. I stopped myself from saying son of anything. Midnight Cowboy was X-rated originally. Caddyshack. I mean, for the love of God, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles got an R rating. Labyrinth, Terry, should have got an R rating just because of the pants that David Bowie was wearing. Good Morning Vietnam. Great movie. We've not seen it together. We should. Cleo's favorite 80s song. That's tough. You ever know when you're on the spot, when you know something and someone's like, what's your favorite this or favorite that? Especially as a kid, it's tough. I bet you're having a hard time thinking of even an 80s song right now. Yeah. We do things like she can do Ice Ice Baby. All right, stop. Ice is back with a brand new invention, something. Grabs a hold of me today. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo. I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. Cleo is a fish. I don't think I know what that means. Oh, Cleo. She spells it with a K. Oh, Poison's a good one. Oh. One of my favorite lines from a 90s hip-hop song is in Poison. Never trust a big butt and a smile.
I love Princess Bride too much.
Yeah, you did like it, but it was just a little slow. Yeah. Like, our movies really took time, and they had dialogue that was important in setting up the joke, and you could set up a joke in scene 2 and 3 and 4 of a movie and not have it really come through until the end. And now the kids really want the payoff quickly. I don't know. I'm getting more and more distracted. I got to put this one down. It's got to be past 9. What time have you got, Cleo?
9:12.
9:12. And no, somebody asked earlier if we're on sort of a break. We're not. She has school tomorrow. Yes, she's seen Top Gun. She cries when Goose dies. I was going to have her see The Neverending Story, and I just did a video about scenes in movies growing up that gutted us. And I'd forgotten about the Swamp of Tears scene, and I'm like, I'm not showing her that anytime soon. But yeah, 9 o'clock, a couple comments. I've seen a few of you have subscribed on Facebook, not just followed, but actually subscribed. And I wanted to take a moment and thank you for that. Subscribers on Facebook for the grand total of 99 cents a month get access to our private Facebook group. I'm not the one that keeps it private. It's not my say. It's just the way Facebook sets it up. It's a lot of fun in there. If you guys want to join in, just hop on over to Facebook, hit the subscribe button. And that's what you get over there on YouTube. Wirehead just gifted what is a membership. You get access to different stickers, highlighted name, highlighted badges on YouTube for doing that. And that is not called subscribing. That's called joining. So if you see a join badge, same thing, 99 cents or $1.99 a month. That money just goes to support the page, to help me do the things that I do to keep it going. And then finally, Trivia Crack. Trivia Crack partnered with me and has allowed me to set up my own trivia challenges every week. And I start them every Sunday night. So the easiest way to join is to go over to my Facebook page. And there's a post right on there. I will put one on YouTube, but you can't click on links on YouTube. But I will update my link tree. Now, here's the deal. People have been having a really hard time lately getting into the Trivia Crack Challenge. Still can't find the challenges. So here's the deal, Michelle. If you can't find the challenges, what you have to do is make sure your game is updated. If it is, click the play button. When you go play, it'll allow you to join challenges. When you hit the join challenge button, there's a tab that says join. When you hit that, you can put in this week's code, which is 033579. So you open up the app, you hit play, you hit challenges, you hit join. It'll open up a code box, the code box. You put in 033579, and then you get there. For those that don't do Facebook, you can check my link tree in about 10 minutes, which is right on my YouTube page. You go to the top, hit link tree. There'll be a link there. So that's what I said. Sheila, the easiest way is probably going to be that trivia code to get in. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It actually does help me monetarily. They do support my page as a result of me supporting theirs. Easy way to play, have a good time, and at the same time help me out. So there is that. That's it. 1, 2, and 3. It is an app, Rhoda. It's called Trivia Crack. If you look at the pinned comment right here on Facebook, there's a link right there to download the app. Once you have the app linked, if you don't see my challenge, hit the play button, hit challenge, join, and put in that code. All right. That's all I got for tonight, guys. The code again is 033579. 033579. I got to get them to give me Jenny's number as a code. That would be far easier to remember. Guys, I will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you on YouTube. See you on Facebook. Guys, those of you in Path of Destruction that had a hard time with the hurricane, you got my prayers, my thoughts going out. I'm thinking about you. Everybody be good, stay safe, and I will see you next week. Peace out. And no, I don't swear. I try to stop. I prevent myself from swearing online. See you Tuesday night at work, Kevin. And do you have homework?